Guys, this is it. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is likely to be announced very soon. This is our last chance to both theorize, but also talk about our desires and even stuff like the title. So let's take this last chance to sit down together, have a conversation about it. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of my final predictions, thoughts, theories, and desires for what I want in this final game. Let's even talk about the title. Let's have a little theorizing about the title. Feel free to skip forward to your favorite video section. I've got them all separated out for you, including my thoughts on the gameplay, my final title pick, my huge idea for the Under the Highwind scene and Nobuo Uematsu's final theme song, my thoughts on Aeirth and Jenova, and my huge Sephiroth theory and how I think he's going to meet his final end and satisfy both the sequel theorists and the OG purists. My idea does both. I'll also be doing a character series after this game gets announced where I'm going to break down the characters of Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barret, Sephiroth, talking about why they are some of the best characters in gaming history. Also, I'll be performing at Carnegie Hall for the special Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concert celebrating Nobuo Uematsu on June 12th and 13th. I will be narrating the Final Fantasy VI opera. So, what do I want out of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3? For me, I cannot wait to see this game. Remake and Rebirth have just built on themselves so well. I think Part 3 can go even higher. They can go even bigger. I think number one, movement, mobility. Naoki Hamaguchi, the amazing director, has said that they are going to open it up and have the airship, the Highwind, available just like the original game. So I think to honor that freedom, I want to upgrade our movements a little bit. I think we need a jump ability, a jump button. I think we need climbing that's not limited to just the climb holds, and switching characters on the world map. I think this is a must. Let us run around as Tifa, Vincent, whoever, and by that same logic, my idea is, what if we have individual character abilities? Yuffie has a grappling hook. Let's have Sid, he's a dragoon. Maybe he can jump really high, right? So just a couple ideas. I'd love to hear, your take on that idea. Even with chocobos, we should make them more free, more able to jump over bigger rocks. So by that thought, we're going to be in the skies, we're going to be underwater, man. We're going to be in a submarine if you played the original game, not to spoil too much. So there's going to be some really crazy freedom in this, and I don't want to feel kind of constrained within that freedom. If this is an idea I had years ago, we should do dogfighting in the Highwind. I want to see a concentration of all this amazing creative ideas with all these mini games they came up with, concentrated into stuff like the Highwind, man. Let's have the Highwind flying be crazy, and let's have once in a while when you're flying around, Shinra planes start chasing you like the Gelnikas or the Rolnikas, and you gotta like dodge them and shoot them down. I don't know, just an idea. Or at least in the final battle as you approach Midgar, let's have an air fight, man. Add to this kind of smorgasbord of amazing finale epicness. You're gonna have Diamond Weapon, like Godzilla coming out of the water, an insane boss fight. You're gonna have a dog fight in the air, parachuting. It's gonna be absolute insanity. Let's have Deep Ground coming out to fight, and let's make sure those core mini games like Queen's Blood give us more opponents, give us more possibilities. And let's talk about tone. Let's talk about tone of the story for the finale. Me and Aaliyah, my wife, we actually went back to the OG FF7 story. Just by the nature of it is going to be much darker and much more serious. I mean, just the story beats are incredibly intense. Like after the end of disc 1, and you're like, man, the ending is really dark and ambiguous and intense. I think it's kind of cool that Rebirth actually is a little bit lighter when you look at it as a trilogy. So then it starts out, we have this kind of like fun, big, wondrous, whimsical adventure in Rebirth, and then it just goes super intense. Like you're at the tip of the iceberg or the roller coaster, right? And there's still humor in those story beats. Yeah, it's not like Costa del Sol the whole time is what I'm saying. I mentioned this again, probably around 2020 now when the first game came out. I would love camping, and then having this sort of like interactions and mini games with the other characters, and it builds really cool opportunities for development. Now, they really probably should do away with the affinity system. All of the date scenes in the chapter 14 in Remake, they're all canon. Like it'd be awesome if you could just see them all. I think it's the same thing with Rebirth. Like all of the gold saucer dates just like make sense, and I feel like they all could have happened. Just like if Cloud had an insanely long night, like they all happen. Like it all makes sense in how he interacts with each person, right? So I think they're all perfect. All right, now I'm going to get into theories and stuff I want to see, or just kind of ideas I have. So there will be some spoilers about the original game, more so at this section. If you haven't played the original for some reason, gonna get into a little bit more. So here's your warning. Scene I'm probably looking forward to the most is, of course, I think one of the most epic scenes in gaming history. Cloud putting back together his memories with Tifa. Hamaguchi has said, the director, that it is one of his favorite scenes and that they nailed it. Also saw the voice actor of Tifa, Britt Baron, hyping it up recently. I think it is going to be just the most beautiful scene in gaming history, which leads me to my next idea, which actually happens shortly after that scene. Final night before the end. It's the scene where all the characters go and they're about to go to the Northern Crater and like take this final, very like dangerous, risky mission to go take down Sephiroth, and the meteor's coming down. Like, final day alive type stuff, right? All the characters go and do stuff. We actually only end up seeing Cloud and Tifa, which is, it's a fan favorite scene for many people. Great scene, love it. However, I want to see everybody, man. I want to see Barret. Where would Barret go? You have to ask yourself, right? He's gonna go see Marlene, right? He's gonna go fight for the planet. Like, he's gonna go see Marlene. So talk about an emotional scene, man, and talk about a way to really round out Barret's character arc, which we don't get to see. So this is what I'm picturing, right? Nobuo Uematsu did the first two themes, Hollow and Promises to Keep, right? So at this point, I think his third song has a good opportunity to play at this point. Nobuo's final song plays during this emotional night where everybody's like, we're probably not making it home, and we're gonna just kind of spend time with the people we can and have this really, like, talk about a rich opportunity for character moments, right? So anyways, Cloud and Tifa, we've seen this scene. I'm sure they'll expand it and make it more cinematic and epic. I can see them going full FF10, Tsuteki Dane, Titus and Yuna with it. We'll see how far they go. That would be really cool. I want to see Barret go to Marlene while the song's playing. Think about it, right? Really emotional. Nanaki goes to Bugenhagen. Bugenhagen maybe passes away at this point. It's a great scene. Sid, obviously he's going to Shara, right, to apologize. His character arc goes full circle. You see what I mean? Like, this is the time, man, to bring everybody there before the end. Maybe we get something with Aeirth. You never know. Like, it could be something in the live stream. Who knows? Whatever's going to happen with Aeirth. I'd love to hear your theories, but I would love to see that as well. Maybe something with Zack as well related to that. I think it'd be pretty cool. Maybe something like that. Maybe a reunion. You never know. And then, of course, Cloud and Tifa are going to be there. Yuffie goes to Wutai, maybe to her father. It's a bit far to make it that far overnight, but who knows? Maybe she does that. Kate Sith, Reeve, have Reeve go see Rufus, and like, what the heck is Rufus thinking before the world's gonna end? It's a perfect opportunity to get deeper into his character, man, in the Turks. So yeah, and let us show us the Turks during the song. Like, make it all CG, man. Let's go full filmmaking. Let's make it a 5-10 minute CG scene, like on the level of Advent Children or something. Let's see the Turks. Let's see everybody. So anyways, and of course, Cloud and Tifa having their awesome scene, whether they go full romance with it or if they make it a little bit more ambiguous. Either way, right? Let's make it epic. Let's make it amazing. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's just my idea I've had for years. I could see it happening. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and if you do disagree, I'd love to hear your theory on where this song goes, the final Nobuo song, because I feel like with Hollow we got like a really cool kind of tragic rock song. With Promises to Keep, classic ballad, right? Classic Eyes on Me, FF9, what is it called? Melodies of Life. Just classic Nobuo, right? So for the third, it's like, man, I almost feel I could do something closer to Tsuteki Dane, the FF10 song, which is more kind of like mystical and tragic and just really, really beautiful, as opposed to like just romance song. So anyways, that's one of my theories on that. So let's talk about the title while we're here, right? We got to theorize about it. There's been a lot of talk. Leah and I talk about it constantly too, the title. I came across an idea. I kind of have a revelation recently, and I've heard no one else talk about this. A lot of the titles that I've heard are instantly disqualified for one reason that I realized. You have to look at the definitions of remake and rebirth. You can't just use a word. You can't just use a word that starts with the letters RE. It also has to mean remade, right? Like remake, rebirth. They mean the same thing. So you actually need a word that has the same definition. And I think that's something that a lot of people are missing on this. So for me, kind of the only one that sort of makes sense is Return, kind of. I guess like, yeah, reborn, return. It still means that it's coming back. For example, we loved redemption. However, it doesn't really mean the same thing. So I don't think it's a possibility. Also has the symbolism of return to the planet, right? Which they say in the game in Advent Children and everything. And also, I think we need to talk a little bit about what's going to happen with Cloud, Northern Crater and everything. That you got to have Jenova image of Aerith at the end when Jenova's complete, like messing with Cloud the whole time. Oh, it's going to be so good. A lot of people have said, oh, they didn't do it. They didn't do Aerith's final scene. We're going to get it, but it's going to be in full, and it's going to be when Cloud loses it. It's going to be Sephiroth saying, just like he did from one of the first lines in the remake series, I told you can't save anyone. Wait, you thought you saved Aerith? I tried to warn you, man. You can't protect anyone, not even yourself. And it's gonna be just so messed up, and you're gonna see it. It's gonna be Cloud's final snapping point, consumed with guilt, and also just realizing that he thinks that he's not even human anymore, right? So yeah, that's gonna be awesome. One thing that we need to talk about is I would love to see Sephiroth's end. He's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite villains ever. However, as it stands, Sephiroth is just there. He's not defeated. He's not dissipated after Advent Children. It's not really resolved. So I would resolve. See, that doesn't mean remake though. See, you got to think about it. Resolve's pretty good. But anyways, Sephiroth. So I have a really cool idea about Sephiroth and how Sephiroth could meet his end and how we can tie in to Advent Children, finally figure out what's going on with Sephiroth, and it'll satisfy everybody who has crazy theories that they're going to change everything and it's going to be a sequel, and it'll satisfy people like me who for the most part have been like, I love the original story, man. Like, let's see it. Let's see all these epic scenes. But I'm also very open to expanding that story. So anyways, I have an idea that can satisfy everybody. One of the things I've always wanted is for Sephiroth to have more characterization. After the Northern Crater where Cloud loses it, Sephiroth doesn't really do anything. He doesn't speak for the most part, which is interesting from a perspective that he's kind of risen to a lofty thing. He looks down on us like insects. He doesn't need to speak to us anymore. But for this format, I would love to see more. I would love to see both a Sephiroth flashback, maybe one flashback chapter where we see into his life. At the end, there's a thing called Jenova Complete, right? This boss that is really epic. It's the last time you feat Jenova. Jenova Complete. What does that mean? It means all her cells are back together. Jenova is alive again, is complete. We know that Jenova was able to deceive the ancients and appear as a human and speak to them, correct? So, what if Jenova is complete again? Wouldn't she be able to speak and use her powers again? So I want to see some stuff like that. Like the trials in the Temple of Ancients, genius, and Rebirth, right? One of the best scenes. I want to see Jenova speaking, but more than her deceiving the main characters and stuff like that, I want to see Jenova and Sephiroth interact. And how would that go? It's an endless treasure trove, right? Well, I think maybe one of my favorite scenes in Final Fantasy history, in gaming history, is Sephiroth going up to Jenova when she's in Nibelheim and saying, like, Mother, we're going to take back the planet. It's eerie, it's horrifying, it's intriguing. It's probably the most character we get from Sephiroth, the most emotion we ever get from Sephiroth, right? It's a beautiful scene. I want more of that, but this time, Jenova's alive, man. She's complete. Can you picture it? Can you picture how that would go? There's a couple options. I think it'd be really cool if Jenova actually like denounces him. And he's like, the one thing he saw, and he's like, yes, the one who's like me, Jenova, like, please love me. And she's just like, you're just another insect. Why would I love you? That would be wild. And like, I'm going to destroy you too. Like, you're a nobody. You're just like all these other people. That would be amazing. And then what if Sephiroth, after the boss battle where we fight her, is the one to destroy her? Just an idea. I know it'd be crazy. It's some pretty juicy character in there. But anyways, my thing that's going to satisfy sequel lovers and people who want the OG, I'm somewhere in the middle, I think, because like I said, I love all the expansions on the story they've done, some more than others, I would say, but generally the characterization expansion has been my favorite thing. What if, in Advent Children, when he says, I'll never be a memory, he wraps himself up in a wing and disappears with feathers, right? What if, in the final battle with Sephiroth, I'm talking after One Winged Angel, after all that, when he's in Cloud's mind, what if he appears the wing appears wrapped up like in reverse from Advent Children. So when he went, he appears in the past in Cloud's mind in this kind of one opportunity has to exist again. Or I guess it would be at the edge of creation, right? Because that's the one place he can still exist. And he comes out in reverse. And just that visual language, this is why I love filmmaking, this is why I talk about visual language so much on my channel as we break down cinematics. Just that would denote to people who, you know, love the lore that that's what happened. That's where he went after that scene in Advent Children. Finally, after 1,000,000 years, we know. And then that could be the final battle with Sephiroth. It's a closed loop. He does it, Cloud defeats him, and he's gone. What does it mean? I don't know. Are we still going to get Advent Children after? Technically, because it still happened in the future, or does it disappear? I don't know. Does it mean no Geostigma? Probably not. I think Advent Children can still happen. And then we know just after Advent Children, he's done. Because he went to the edge of creation, which is kind of outside of time. I don't know. Just my idea. But I think they don't even have to say anything. And then for us people who are just obsessed with the lore of FF7, it's a nod to say, this is what happened. This is where he went back. So anyways, just an idea of mine. I think it'd be really fun. This could also happen at another time. You could have the wing pop out at any time in the story and you'd be like, that's what happened. I do think they're going to stick to the basic plot of what happens, especially before the ending. On the ending, if we want to talk crazy theories, I know a lot of people have been hanging on since day one to even Rebirth. They hoped Rebirth would just be completely off the rails. I'm not one of those people. I love the original story. But I'm very open to the ending of this third game expanding. Because for me, the remake series has been the whole time an opportunity to revise. For example, the Whisper, I think it's fairly obvious that they are the cries of the planet, the ancients' memories incarnate, or just like the memories of the planet in general, like kind of converging with prescience, and they can see all thought, past, present, future. It's an awesome idea. It's pretty much in the original too, but yeah, let's expand it. Let's have that there in a deep way. It's actually there in it quite a bit in the remake series. So I would love to see that sort of expansion for the ending as well. And the one thing I ask, I don't really mind what they do. I really want to see it wrapped up well. I don't want them to leave all these amazing concepts that we all have a million questions about ambiguous. A little ambiguity is good as far as like what happens. For example, end of Final Fantasy X. Masterpiece. All right. Look what happens to Titus at the end. Look at the shot after the credits. That's a masterpiece, right? Is it metaphorical? Is it physical? What does it mean? It's a beautiful tragedy. And we didn't need all the answers. Same with Final Fantasy VII Original, right? It ends. Did they die? What exactly happened here? You see the planet 500 years later. It's like, okay, the planet's alive. That's all you got to know. We won, right? Did humans survive? I don't know. But the planet's alive and it's thriving. So we won. Very, very cool stuff. Very ambiguous. So I do want a little bit of that, but I could definitely see them. Like I would take, for example, a post-credit scene. They said it's going to link up to Advent Children, right? So if they honor that, or if they pull the rug out from under us, who knows? I don't know why they would say it if they're going to pull the rug. But if it does link up to Advent Children, I would love to see maybe after the ending, we see a little bit in between Advent Children. There's some really cool scenes, by the way, in between. I could also see him doing a DLC of the in-between Advent Children, On the Way to a Smile, if you haven't read it. Very, very cool stuff. I think it's On the Way to Smile. Tifa takes place at that point. I think there's a bunch that are in like different parts of that timeline. But anyway, I would love to see it. As far as the ending itself, I love the original. I think like the reason that Aerith is one of the coolest characters again in gaming history. I'm going to do a video on it, on why Aerith is so awesome. Sephiroth undoes himself, man, by trying to stop Aerith. By doing that to her, he destroyed himself, right? She was able to be in the live stream and command the live stream. It's such a cool message, man. It's such a beautiful thing. And her being the kind of last of the ancients, as if like that's the ending of her power. Like, no, that's what gave her power. So it's very, very cool. And her being a very like Yuna-esque figure, Aerith, with the kind of like, you know, the tragedy and the sacrifice, it just makes her such an absolute legend of a character. So anyways, I think it'd be awesome, but that's just my thoughts. Again, I think the Nobuo song goes in the last night. I mean, think about it. You'll get all those awesome scenes. You'll get Cloud Tifa have this like really cool, again, I want to play into the tragedy of it, which I think a lot of people don't like grasp. A lot of people love the Highwind scene, of course, because it's it's a very big moment that the game led up to for those characters for a long time. But I want to play into the tragedy of it more, man. Get that kind of Suteki Dane feeling. I think it'd be really heartbreaking and beautiful. So you could do both, like I said. Plus the other character, you got to show everybody for it to be really valuable. I think even Aerith, that would be awesome. So anyways, that's just some of my thoughts. I love the ending. I don't necessarily want to see it fully changed. And I say fully changed. Like, give me expansions, give me wrap-ups of ideas that they've dangled in front of us for 20 years. Like, absolutely close those out. Let's get new scenes. Let's get even beyond the ending. Give me new scenes, man. I want some clarity on some stuff. I do want Sephiroth to end. That is my idea for his ending, but I could totally see them doing a different way for him to meet his demise, as long as it's final. What I might not prefer, and some people might disagree with me with it, like they might want Sephiroth to just always be there as this kind of like undefeated thing. I mean, I want a story to have an ending, you know? I want to be able to analyze the beauty of Sephiroth's character arc. Can't fully do that right now because it doesn't end. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't end. He's just out there. Like, I'll never be a memory, which is a cool idea, but I would love to see it ending. So anyways, I ask you, how should he end? Or do you not want him to? I have so much faith in Hamaguchi and Nomura and the team, because I do think if they nail this and it's amazing, it could be my favorite Final Fantasy game. I really do. They've thought of stuff I haven't even fathomed, or you haven't even fathomed, right? I do think this could be the best Final Fantasy, absolutely no question, if they do execute on some of these things. I would love to hear from you what you need for this game to be the perfect Final Fantasy game. The real meat of this whole project that has been like the best, no question for me, is the character moments. You've heard me talk about it in my playthroughs till the cows come home. Those quiet scenes with Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Bear, when they're just talking to each other, man. Like we get characterization that we've only imagined. And a lot of it is better than we've imagined, quite honestly. It's fantastically done. And you got an amazing voice cast. Like, give these characters interactions. That's going to be, I think, where the game shines, no question. And then on top of that, all the plot elements and everything coming together. I mean, we got the new black materia that Cloud put into his sword. And so tell me your theories. I can't believe we're actually going to see it. It's actually crazy to talk about. This is the last time we'll be talking about that title. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more. I'm going to cut it there. I could talk about this for 20 hours. So thank you for watching. Let's enjoy this final thing, like Nomura said at the trailer announcement, right? What was it? This remake may bring, what did he say? Joy, fear, something like that. But let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy the journey. So the unknown journey continues, my friends. Let's enjoy these last few hours, and then of course beyond after that. So you guys are the best. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you very soon. Check out my voice acting on my Instagram and my other channels, and I'll talk to you guys soon.